right, guys. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear now. Can they hear?
I'm checking.
Okay.
Yeah, they are clapping. Great.
It's good. We're on. We're live.
Good now. You're good.
Okay, thank you. You know, it does get easier. I mean, it was less stressful this time around, Justice, than it was last time. Got to admit that. So we're going to get our Cellercisers out. We're going to be Cellercising. It's going to be the Fat Eradicator. It's on the Mr. Rebounder app. Liberty and I are going to be taking you through that a little bit later, and it will burn. We're going to do something at the very end that I mean, your legs will probably feel like Jell-O, but it's going to burn a lot of fuel. So go easy on it and enjoy it, but it's going to be a great routine. Thank you for coming. It's another Monday, and I always love Mondays. It's always hectic, but crazy and wonderful all at the same time. So, all right, let's read some customer reviews, and we're going to answer some questions. If you have questions, please write them in. We've had a great week last week. We had some incredible customer reviews. Some of them are still coming in. We'll get them printed up, but let me read a few here. This comes from Karen. 2007, husband diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, heard about Cellerciser, called and talked to Dave's assistant. He was so encouraging about the benefits to the lymph system that we ordered immediately. Since then, we've given them to both kids and recommended it to many. Nancy writes, definite success. I've had pretty persistent back pain in the mornings for 8 months. I also have had bad circulation in my legs. I started the baby bounce, worked up to 10 minutes, and no more back pain. I guess with worse back pain, it may take longer. I think it is helping my neck, which has a narrow disc too. I hope it may help my circulation as well. And of course, it's very well known for circulation. Carolina writes, being both overweight and out of shape, I was looking for a way to turn both issues around. I have a quality treadmill, but have never been able to keep with it due to pain in my feet, knees, and back. So I was looking for an alternative. The Cellerciser is all that they say it is. I started 6 weeks ago at less than 5 minutes a day, and I'm now up to 20 minutes daily. I've had no injuries from rebounding, but did break my pinky toe when not on the rebounder, and I was able to find positions to work out on the rebounder in a matter of days, even though I was still walking with a limp. I've seen the benefit of better skin tone, less facial wrinkles, better cardio. I doubled the mileage I was able to walk the dog in less than 2 weeks on the rebounder, and increased muscle. I have suffered from plantar fasciitis for years, and have found that rebounding barefoot has strengthened my feet, and I do not have any symptoms anymore. I am no longer stiff when I get out of bed in the morning, and I get up walking like I did 15 years ago. I did not start watching calories until the last 3 weeks, and though my clothes fit better prior to that, I don't believe I lost any weight those first weeks. Now that I've been watching calories as well, I am consistently losing 2 or more pounds a week without starving. We put the Cellerciser in the family room so that we can use it while watching TV. That's what we do. While I am the biggest user of this, both my teenage daughters and husband will use it too. And thank you, Carolina, for sharing that. And my whole family uses it. They've seen the results. They've seen the proof. It's part of their life. It's part of my grandkids' life now. And I know many of you are benefiting from it. If you have any concerns, any issues, any things, any challenges, any questions, please feel free to write them in. Justice is behind the screen here, and he's happy to read those questions. Okay, Bonnie writes, I've been following you for several years, and in the beginning, I used a generic trampoline. But a few years ago, I bought this Cellerciser, and the difference was amazing. The app, Senior, made it enjoyable to work out twice a day. I had a hip replacement in December 2021. I credit my Cellerciser for preparing my body prior to surgery. I recovered quickly, and once I was cleared, I started to Cellercise again. Thank you for this tutorial on the hip flexor. I am 75, and it's part of my daily exercise routine. I think my healthy looking skin and overall strength is due to the Cellerciser. And thank you, Bonnie, for sharing that. Okay, questions. Patty writes, for a quad stretch, is it okay to kneel on one knee on the Cellerciser, other leg bent, foot on floor, and lean back and easy bounces? And Patty, I think I understand it, and it sounds, yeah, it's just fine. One of the neat things about Cellercise, you play on it. It works on you. And we're still discovering new ways of being able to work on it. So that was good. Somebody asked me earlier in the week, they said when you're doing the Jamba Run, how do you position your knees? And we had talked about that recently, where we just said, just keep the, don't do this, just push the knees out to the side and work to keep them over your foot, over your toes. Tanya writes, do you guys have a payment plan? Yes, we do. It's on our website. And if you go to the website, as you're getting ready to check out, we have a number of options. We've got Shop Pay, we've got Afterpay, we've got Amazon Pay, we've got something else that, or Shop Pay. So you've got different options that will allow you to make installments, and it's same as cash. So if you, I know that the Cellerciser is a little more expensive than typical units. That's because, and you know that, the mat material won't stretch out, the springs won't stretch out, so that you can be using this 20, 30, 40 years later. This unit here, that one's 19 years old, that one's new. They both bounce the same. This one's been all around the world. I don't think I've ever cleaned it. It could use a little cleaning underneath, but it works. Zara writes, is it possible for someone who Cellercises regularly to experience weight gain due to a poor diet, like during the holidays? Well, sure. Yeah, if you eat more calories than we burn, then we're going to gain weight. But keep in mind, Cellercise also is going to gain more muscle weight, because all the protein fibers in your body have weight on them, so they're going to get stronger. Yes, Justice.
We have a question from Rebecca. She says, in reference to the one testimonial, what's the best move for the hip flexors?
Hip flexors, there's a few of them. Just starting off, gentle movement up and down helps to increase circulation. Rocking side to side, that starts to warm up those muscles even more effectively. Doing the twist helps to, they're just graduated movements. From here, we can start to do more of the whippy ski patrol. As we cross the leg in front and lift up, we're helping to strengthen and increase flexibility in those hips as well. So those are just some real good movements. Awaken Indigos writes, if you could go back in time to when you were 30 years old and do it all over again, what would you do differently in order for you to achieve an even better health now at 67? What would I do differently? I think I would be less stressed. I would just enjoy the journey. That's, you know, it's been a journey. It's like, and it continues. I think part of me was impatient and wanting to get this information out to more people, but not wanting to compromise the integrity of the product, and being frustrated that I wasn't reaching more people, or finding the people I needed to work with that could help me expose the world more effectively to the differences in the units, yes, because my dad was permanently disabled on a typical rebounder within 30 days of using it, but also the benefits of there's just so much. And my frustration levels, if I could just enjoy the journey and recognize I can't control the outcome as often as I wish I could. It's just not in the cards. So I think I would just enjoy the journey more. Would you Cellercise more? I don't know. I think when I first started Cellercising, you've heard the story, within a month I dropped a belt notch, in a month my arms looked bigger, in 6 months my physique had completely changed. And I used to be worried. I'd say, well, that was too easy. I'd see all these people working out. I mean, they're really tearing down and working all these muscle groups. I'd go jump on the Cellerciser for 10 minutes, and that was my routine. And I would wake up at night thinking, I'm going to lose it. It's a fluke, or I gotta go back on it. And so yes, at nighttime, late at night, I'd go get back on the Cellerciser and I'd work on it because I was afraid it just came too easy. I think just again enjoying the journey, knowing that when you're Cellercising, you're working the whole body collectively as a whole. It's all weight bearing. It's all pumping for the lymph system and the circulatory system. It's challenging brain activity and proprioceptors and balance and rhythm and timing, dexterity. It just keeps your body functioning well. And if you want to do something else, you can do it. I think if I had time to go back and do it over again, I probably would have enjoyed not working so hard at it and doing more activities with the kids, fun activities, crazy activities, which I still like to do. Would you take more supplements? No, I wouldn't. I would probably eat a healthier diet. That was one thing I could have done earlier on, is eating more. I like to have green drinks where I put live vegetables, and if I could do it over again, I would have a kitchen that would have more vegetables that I could blend into blenders and eat on the go if I had to hurry. But have less stress in your life? Definitely. But thank goodness for this Cellerciser, because when my first wife was passing away and I was caretaker and taking care of her for a few years, I was on that Cellerciser with an enormous amount of stress, raising 3 teenagers, and having to run a business. And then I had my business stolen from me for a period of time and had to fight to get that back. Those were incredibly stressful times. And that Cellerciser and the movement up and down every day, I really think that's why I'm still here today, and I'm feeling good and I'm able to perform well. And I think it just melts away the stress. And again, you've heard me say when babies are stressed, you'll see a parent instinctively take a baby, put them over their shoulder, and they gently bounce the baby up and down. Well, I think it opens up the circulation, back flushes valves, helps to get rid of stress and tension. And I think it's been really, really helpful. What advice would you give to people who are in their early 30s and want to live to 150? There's a physical and a mental part to a program I call Cellology. The 7 steps toward our greater health potential. Cellercise is one, a very, very important one. But I would also add within that how you think. There's a lot of negative issues in the world, and we can all contend with the negative issues, and sometimes we find ourselves doing that. I would suggest create your own reality as much as you possibly can. Focus on things that are good, listen to good music, find good people, associate with positive, goal-directed, enthusiastic people who support you and lift you up, and really have a good quality of support and friends. Be involved with taking charge of your internal and external environments more effectively. Learn more about what the body, its potential is. We don't know. See, and I've shared this before, and many times, if you draw a line down the middle of a piece of paper and you say, on the right-hand side of the line you have health, and if you cross over the line on the left-hand side of the line you have illness. In our culture, I believe most people have bought into the idea, because this is the way that we're kind of taught, that health is simply an absence of illness, and as a result of that mentality, most people live on the line. If they get sick and they cross over to the left of the line a little bit, they'll take a shot or pill or some kind of treatment to get back to the line, and they stop. And most people just, that's where they live. There's a few people to the right of the line, and they enjoy a little better quality of life, but then there's those that are quite a ways to the right of the line. They enjoy a quality of life, energy, excitement, and joy that most people living on the line never will experience. And what I believe we all have the ability to do is reach a greater health potential. And that's what Cellercise is designed to do. If we can get rid of the stress and tension, stimulate circulation, stimulate the thyroid, the adrenals, the endocrine system, challenge our body in a way that the body itself appreciates, then I think we're going to enjoy a better quality of life. When we're eating live foods, when we're communicating physically and spiritually and making those connections, we will see a reality that's a little different than the average person. And it's how we view our life, our surroundings, the people that we interact with. That has a lot to do with our ability to be healthier. When we take the high road instead of the low road, which is so easy because people live in a reactive mode constantly. We're being involved in every day in the opportunity to make a choice. And you've heard me share it before as an example. If you're driving down the road and it's a beautiful day and you picked up some food and you have it sitting on the seat next to you, and some hothead just doesn't like the way you're driving, so they decide they're going to come around you, but they have to get right off the off-ramp, so they come around you, they hit the brake so they can get off the off-ramp. You have to hit your brake so you don't hit them. Your food ends up all over the ground, and you have a choice. That's either going to ruin your day, or it's going to be something that you're going to become reactive toward, and you're going to be mad and angry and upset and call the guy a bunch of names, or you're going to pray for that person and say, hey, thank you. Number one, I didn't get hurt. It could have been worse, but I'm okay. And pray for that person on his journey that he will not get into an accident, or that he will recognize how he can be a better driver, or whatever the case is. You have a choice. Every day we're given choices, and those choices have a lot to do with our ability to reach our greater health potential physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. So, sorry, that's a little long-winded there. What about bone on bone? Should I use it? What are your options? If you have, probably talking about the knee, if you have a knee brace and you're walking in place to strengthen those supporting muscles and ligaments around the knee, so you have better support, so you can retain more fluid, and the bone's rubbing a little bit, that's not very comfortable. And you can check with your doctor or health practitioner, but there's a number of doctors that actually believe, and I do too, that when those bones rub against each other, they can start to increase more collagen growth between the bones, and it comes right off the tip and the top of the bone. So we can, over time, build more cartilage with those bones rubbing against the bone, even though it's not real comfortable. Now, everybody's different, and I'm not going to tell you to do that without consulting with a doctor, because I don't know what your particular situation is or how well your body's going to respond. There's others who have had injections, and then they will build up the supporting muscles and ligaments again while they're doing the injection, and they don't need injections again. They've actually developed the strength to support that joint area, so it just supports it. All right. Suggestions for neuropathy or foot pain that prevents you from doing trampoline to prevent irritation, but so miss doing my Dave Hall Cellercise daily. Julian. What I'd recommend, or what I do, is suggest that people either do it, well, if you can't do barefoot, is get some soft-soled slippers. And, I got these on Amazon. And they're called Witten, W-H-I-T-I-N. W-H-I-T-I-N. You can find them on Amazon. This is amazing. It's so flexible, but it offers a little additional support, which feels comfortable. And so I run all around the yards or out to a store, or just running around in them because they're very comfortable. Florin writes, can you please talk more about your life pre-Cellerciser. Oh, at what age did you start exercising? Before Cellercising, I was exercising when I was in high school, and then after high school, got a job and didn't exercise much. Ended up with a little belly and little chin there, and that's when I decided I needed to start exercising. That's what led me in my journey, which many of you heard about with regards to Cellercise. When I was in high school, I was in pretty good shape. And out of high school, I lost it all. I just had to work to get it back, and Cellercise brought it back. I had a really bad back before I began Cellercising, and it took a couple years to build it up. And my knees were not in good shape. I'd messed those up during sports, so it took me a while to build those up too. But it was. Yeah, I did. I was a pole vaulter, so I'd go. I was pretty good. Go 13, 14, 15 feet up in the air, and sometimes I'd miss the pit. That hurt. So you come crashing down on the ground, and you land on your feet and your knees, and it was. And it was hard on everything, shoulders. It was a tough sport, but it was a lot of fun. I had to recover a lot from that, and it took a while, but it did. How exactly did you start jumping on a rebounder? Please tell us more about what you were doing in that period. Thanks. Well, I was an insurance agent with Mass Mutual in Newport Beach, California. Many of you have heard the story. Had a little double chin, little belly, wanted to get in better shape. Started Cellercising because I'd compromised my immune system with an asbestos poisoning. And I just started bouncing up and down like this. I didn't know a lot about it at the time. But the unit kept hurting my back because it was a typical rebounder. So I'd get on it and I'd try to jog a little bit. I didn't have a balance bar yet, so I stuck it next to a door jamb, and I'd just kind of kick my legs out a little bit and just to work on the stomach, and then I worked on the back, and eventually I turned toward the wall and work on the waist and the hips. And in a month, I dropped a belt notch, and in a month, my arms were bigger. And after that, I was a believer. I didn't even realize what it was yet. So that's when it kept hurting my back. That's when I had another company produce a larger tapered spring for me, a barrel-shaped spring. And then I went from there to develop the tridaptable spring design. So it's just been a journey. Trish writes, could you address the anal sphincter muscles? I'm hoping I will get stronger in that area. It's no fun having the dribbles back there. Thank you, Trish. No kidding. I've had that question from many people. Men and women, the sphincter muscle is very, very important. So it's a muscle. How do you build up a muscle like that? You have to put it under weight over and over. How do you do that? Well, you Cellercise, it's weight bearing. So when you tighten, the old Kegel method, but you tighten back there, that's an isometric for toning that muscle. And then when you bounce up, it's an isotonic. It's weight bearing. It's increasing the weight on that muscle, so that muscle can get bigger and stronger. It take a little bit of time, but generally not that much. Okay, clothing apparel soon? Yeah, I'm working with a gentleman named Alan right now. We're looking over some of the clothing apparel. So if you have some clothing that you think you really like, or a style that you really like, please write in, let us know. We're looking into that right now, and we could have that up in a month. So we're real close. Shannon writes, is delivery to Ireland expensive? It was about $130 last time I checked, Shannon. But you should be able to go online on our website, put in the shipping information. It will tell you the shipping options before you check out. Christine writes, hi, just like to ask, I have tension headaches and neck tension. Lost my balance to vertigo. PPPD said it coming off my neck. Not sure what that is. Do exercises every day. Nothing works. Thanks very much for your help. Okay, Christine. So that gentle technique that I teach on the Cellerciser for relieving stress and tension, I put the thumbs by the throat, fingers behind the the neck along the vertebral joints, and then I do little circle movements as I'm bouncing up and down. You can actually push up on the skull where it connects with the atlas here. You can just massage in these areas right there. And if you feel a knot or a subluxation in one of those areas, you can tilt a little bit and massage it. It may be a little tender initially, but as we're gently massaging little circular movements, we're moving up and down. That's moving fluid constantly up and down. We're pushing that fluid between the vertebral joints and helping to release the stress and tension in that area. And I just did that with my wife just the other day. She had a lot of stress and tension in that back area as well. Okay, Liberty. Let's connect the Cellerciser. Unfortunately, I don't have one balance bar, so I've only got one. So Liberty, I'll let you use the balance bar. What we do when we don't have the other balance bar is we will actually use a chair, high back chair. So I'm going to do what you often do, Liberty. You can use a bar and I'll do the chair. And this is going to be, you all have it. Well, if you have the Mr. Rebounder app, you've got the Mr. It's called the Fat Eradicator. And I'll ask Dalium if we can actually take the exercise portion of this and make it separate as well. Because this is going to burn. You're going to love it and you're going to hate it. It's intense. I'll give 1 second. Go ahead, honey. You can go in there. Liberty, come on. Okay, so I'll turn this like that. So when I need it. Okay, and we're going to turn, hopefully this works. It's electronics. I like electronics. It's just they don't like me or something. Okay, so let's go to Miss Rebounder app. Okay. And I'll turn some music on. Okay. This was the one you've been doing, right? Right here?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so it's about 20 minutes long. It's a Fat Eradicator. 20 minutes, 16 seconds. So it's, you can follow along with us and actually watch the Mr. Rebounder app. I hope the timing is going to be the same. Is that going to be in your way? Okay. All right. That's my balance bar. Next time I get another balance bar. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Here we go. Warm up, 1 minute. All right. Let's have fun. Now, if it gets too intense, then just go easy. Just do a gentle baby bounce until you can come back into it. But you're going to get, I guarantee you, this works. It's an incredible aerobic activity. It's going to burn a lot of calories. The thing I like about Miss Rebounder, what we all do is we watch a television show and we put the app right next to us or on the balance bar because we've got a phone holder now. And we watch the show and the time just flies by. Liberty often does it how many times?
I do this twice every day.
She does it twice every day. I'm like, gee. But that's because she's watching a show.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to watch the show. Okay, so the hip rock. And you just kind of, you lift the shoulders up and down. This helps to loosen up the back. It pumps the lymphatic system. You get a lot of pump going on here. Great for the circulatory system, and it's loosening up the hips. It's also good for the lungs. It's helping to get more oxygen. If you can feel you're lifting the lung up and increasing oxygen intake as you're breathing in and out too. Just a great technique, period. Helps with the colon. The colon wraps around here and comes down, so it can help with digestion, elimination processes as well. All right. Breathing. Okay, Jamba Run. Show off.
My legs already hurt from doing my aerial today.
Oh, you were doing dancing today. Or gymnastics. Good. Well, that's good. I'm glad it's going to challenge you a little bit. So you can push down into the mat is what we're doing. We're not thinking as much as lifting our feet up off the mat as we are pushing down into the mat. Keep the knees pressed out some. So we're working on building up the supporting muscles and ligaments around the knees, and we're helping to increase circulation. You should be feeling that burn now. Yeah. And you can push yourself as hard as you want. If you want to sit down a little bit further, you'll increase the intensity. You control it. It's up to you. Okay, we're going to do 45 seconds of the baby bounce. The reason we do this in between movements is to increase circulation and oxygen, pump the lymph system. It helps avoid any soreness. You don't build up the lactic acid that you might with other exercises, because you're really pumping that and moving that circulation. What's next? Yep. Oh, I should have put that monitor on.
Yeah.
Darn. Jamba. We have a wireless module that I charged and was ready to put on the Cellerciser today, but I think I got distracted by all the electronics. So with that wireless module, you can see the orange bar on the monitor. When you have the module connected at the bottom of the mat, you can pull that screen over, and it will count the number of bounces, the number of calories you're burning. It has the intensity meter, and it shows you the time before the next movement, which is an advantage too. Darn, I wish I had that. It's a great little device. Feeling any heat yet? Yeah. Push, 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 push. All right. 45 seconds of just gentle bouncing again.
Yeah, I think my legs are going to be sore
Tomorrow? They might be less sore actually after this. Yeah, if you need to stop and get some water or drink, absolutely. But we're going to be generating some heat here. We've got, yeah, about 14 and a half minutes to go. So.
This is the same thing?
All right, Jamba Run, pushing down into the mat. And if you want to lift your feet up off the mat, you can do that. It's just a little different. But like I said, you can control the intensity. And if you have to go slower, do the Jamba walk, nothing wrong with that either. That's really good. Brace you. Okay, hip rock. And I like to lift the shoulders up and down a little bit. Just a couple ways of doing this. And again, if it seems too easy, that means you can put more into it. Jamba Run. So you're back in school now.
Yeah.
How you liking it?
I like it a lot, actually.
Senior?
Yeah.
Big girl on campus this year.
Yeah. I'll be the little one next year.
That's right. Liberty's grown up Cellercising. She's quite the athlete. She was on the Cellerciser right early when she was born. I'd carry you and gently bounce you up and down. She skipped crawling. She just ran everywhere she went. All right. Okay, oxygen. Baby bounce for 30 seconds. Get that oxygen moving through our circulatory system. It serves several purposes. What do you think, Justice? It's all right. Okay. Jamba Run. The reason I hold on to a chair is so you can keep the back straight. You keep the back straight, you keep the weight over the thighs and the knees. It uses the biggest muscles. If I didn't have a chair to hold on to, I'd fall backwards. So by keeping the back straight, it keeps the weight over the thighs, and those are the biggest muscles. They're going to give us the best results. All right, twist. You're on the mat the whole time. You're just lifting your heels up and down and twisting left and right. This is a way, as we catch our wind and increase the oxygen, we can massage the liver, kidneys, spleen, gallbladder, pancreas, the adrenals, the colon, the intestines, the lower back. I mean, it's just this is the second most important physical activity I teach people that we can do every day, I believe, on the Cellerciser. Okay, Jamba Run. 30 seconds. And yeah, you can sit down further. It's going to be more intense, but that's good too. I can't get as low as you.
And I'm also shorter.
Oh, that's fine. Ten seconds. All right, hip rock, 30 seconds. You should be feeling good now. It's one thing I like about this routine is that it's tough, but you feel good doing it.
I want a side view of the Jamba Run.
Is that in the way?
Yeah.
They'll still want to see it. Maybe you can just move it over this way a little bit. It's not in the middle of us. Yeah, that's good. Not that far. Put it back on. Yep, there you go. That's good. Thanks, honey.
We have I think the Jamba Walk.
Coming up? Yeah, we're going to do the Jamba Walk, and that's a good one too, because you can sit down in that a little bit more. Love it. All right, baby bounce. Can they still see this okay, Justice? You can move that forward a little bit closer to them if you want. I'll get it. Can they still see it? Okay. Jamba walk. Now this is where we lift our feet up. So you're lifting the feet up and pushing down into the mat still.
I've never done this. I just do Jamba again.
You do Jamba Run? This actually has its benefits too, because you can sit down further. It's a little slower, but it really works the muscle a little longer in between each step. Feeding the heat. We said burn, burn, burn. This burns. It increases, I mean, it increases metabolism, but it's intense. You're using the biggest muscles.
Dad, we have a question.
Yes.
Why do you keep your feet on the mat while other instructors I've seen always leave the mat and do everything with a high jump? Is it best to stay flat in the mat?
Yeah, it depends on what you're doing, but yeah, you don't want to jump high. That's for big trampolines. That's for tricks. You're just floating. You're not working. When you're closer to the mat, that's when the lymph system is pumping. That's when the cells are flexing many more times per minute than if you were jumping higher. So Cellercise is for fitness. It's health and fitness. It's not for tricks. So we stay closer to the mat, and the mat supports us.
Jamba Walk next.
Jamba Walk coming up.
And then one person asked, how could we, how can I get this workout? Like, where to find it? How can I get it?
It's on the Mr. Rebounder app right here. If you go to MrRebounder.com, it's actually on sale right now. And what we've done, the price is going to go up. We're putting a lot into it. It has over 30 pre-made routines that you can follow along with for beginning, intermediate, advanced, and seniors. Plus, it has a library of 65 movements. So you can put together your own routines. is normally for a year, for all of that, is $89.95 for a year. It's on sale right now for $49.95 for a year. And what I've always done is that if you buy into it, even at a discounted price, your cost will never go up for as long as you maintain the subscription. So you're grandfathered. So I like to think of it as kind of an investment. As the value goes up and the price goes up, yours doesn't. So you've got all kinds, you got 65 movements that address neck issues, shoulder, back, hips, knees, weight loss, muscle building, yeah, digestion, elimination.
Jamba Run's next.
Jamba Run?
Do you have the
Jamba Run. Go ahead.
Do you have the black rug on the online stores too?
We will. Give us about, give us 2 weeks. It may be available in a week.
Right now they have
Yeah, well, this is a prototype of the first one. Okay, we can push it. We've only got a couple minutes left.
Yeah, kicks are next.
Oh, kicks, okay. Kicks are going to be a little more advanced, so if you're not comfortable with them, just go do another Jamba walk. "15 seconds, go." I'm sweating, are you? Yeah. Okay. Hold on to your bar if you need to, but we want to lift the knees up a little bit. If you tilt backwards slightly, it focuses on the core. Okay, when we're done with this, we can move the Cellercisers apart, put this in between, so we can do the knee squats.
After this?
Uh-huh. No, after we're done. Okay, so keep going, hold down. We have a surprise for those who really want to do more strength, really work on the knees. And it's, it'll test you. But over time, the knees get really strong and flexible. So keep going for another 20 seconds. I'm going to set this up, but I need to move this over that way a little bit. Thanks, honey. Oh. All right. Okay, so that's done, but what we're going to do for those who want to do this with us is these are the deep knee bends that I was talking about. And they are amazing. So what we're going to do is we're going to lean here. You're not going to hit that. Just lean over. We're going to grab a table, if you have a chair or an armchair of a couch that you can put it next to, give you a moment to do that. And what we're going to do is, and you've seen me do it, many of you, this is really good. Most of you will feel it tomorrow. But you will adapt very quickly if you do this. And that will apply to all your activities. But what we're going to do So we will have our hands on the chair. We're going to jump up, squat down, and jump up again. Now we're going to see if we can do 50 of them. So if you can do 5, 10, 15, 20, doesn't matter. You do what you're comfortable doing while we do this. But hey, I'll turn on some music again. Why not?
We don't have to go at the same time, right?
No. No, we don't have to go at the same time. All right. Ready? Yeah. Okay, so it's done just like this. You jump up, come down. What number are you at? 30. It's harder than I. 40. 41. 42. 50. Oh, yes. What? Oh. Maybe. Wow.
Now you have to put your password or put your touch ID. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Yeah, when you're done, gently bounce. That is an intense exercise. Liberty's been doing that for a while, and I was doing about 30 of them, and then she did 50. Of course, I had to do 50. I think it's harder for me because I'm taller, but then if you want, then you can do it over again. My legs are going to feel great tomorrow, but right now they feel like jello. Thank you. Thanks for being a part of this. Feel free to share it with others. If you have any comments or thoughts or suggestions, we welcome them. Thank you. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Be safe.